Football!
I got it!
Dang it. I don't think I scared him. Nameco there, I'm Dustin. Wide receivers 2020, we are excited. We're already starting to get some other sports on TV right now, so things are starting to come back. Hopefully it stays on track and we get some football here before we know it.
Before we get into this video, first of all, check out all of our other rankings on this video. Please like, share, all those fun things. We'd really appreciate it. And check out our Patreon page. We're trying to get that going a little bit. Obviously, we didn't do videos last year because, quite frankly, we lose money on these things. So we're looking to do the Patreon. Support your boys. Hook us up.
Let's talk wide receiver. Tier 1, you're going to love any of these guys. I've been hearing some debate about how Adams should be the #1 receiver, but we're not really buying that.
Adams over Thomas. Blah. No
Thomas is just,
it's a beast.
Gosh, especially in any type of PPR. But Thomas, Adams, Hill, Jones, all these guys are going to go right around the top 12 picks. You're happy with any of them. They should have monster years.
As we look at Tier 2, obviously going to focus on Hopkins. Now, he's not in Tier 1, but he's still going to be a beast. So don't worry. You're going to be happy with him as well. Kyler Murray will be just fine with him, but it is a new offense, different scheme. So we're taking that into consideration. And then I want to talk about Kenny Gallaudet. He is the most boring, unsexy pick ever.
Ever.
And you're so not going to be happy with him at the end of the second round.
It's a little early.
If you're taking him, or even as your wide receiver 1, it just doesn't feel good. What I'm trying to tell you, though, is last year, 65 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 11 TDs. He's probably going to do that again this year. So he's the guy that I think might slip a little bit in drafts, and I'm going to be happy about that and grab him.
So we started doing these rankings, and you remember back to last year just how bad the Bears were.
The Bears!
But there was one bright spot, and that's Allen Robinson. He actually had a really good year last year, just under 100 catches, 1,147 yards, 7 touchdowns. And when you look at the offense, there's not a lot of playmakers. He's going to be targeted early and often again this year. So we're not hating Allen Robinson. We got him right here around a lot of other big names. And then Mike Evans. This guy, a lot of other experts have him ranked in the top 10 for receivers. And I mean, it's Mike Evans, but it's not going to be the same type of offense. Like, Winston had 30 interceptions last year. I don't think Mike Evans is going to get those same amount of jump balls, just throw
Winston
it up.
Straight up played 500. Throwing jackpots left and right.
Catch this
Jackpot!
one. I mean, he averaged 17 yards per reception. I don't know if that's going to happen with Brady. To me, Evans is kind of the biggest question mark in that offense in terms of is he the one that takes the biggest hit with Brady coming? I don't know. He just scares me a little bit. It's not the same quarterback, obviously, as Winston going to Brady.
Did you say jackpot or 500 when you played the game?
Well, jackpot was you win.
But you also win at 500.
Yeah.
Leave in the comments if you did jackpot or 500.
Either way, it's a good call.
All right, as we go into Tier 4. What did you do? Answer for the people.
I did a little bit of both. But
either or.
But it meant the same thing.
It does mean the same thing.
Yeah, but sometimes it's fun
Taking
to throw
too
a
long.
jackpot in there.
I would throw 500. I just want to see what you guys would do. I was trying to ask you a simple question.
Sorry.
But
go.
Standard Barkley. All right, Tier 4. Now I have to talk very quick. Tier 4. I want to talk about 2 very much Nameco guys that I love. PPR studs. First one, Cooper Kupp. Love this guy. You know who loves him more is probably Goff, because Goff targets him a ton. 134 times last year. He had 94 catches, 10 touchdowns. To me, he's the best option on that Rams offense and a stud in PPR. The next guy is Jarvis Landry, and I don't understand the hate on this guy whatsoever. He had a very good year last year. 83 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, and guess what? That's the most yards he ever got in his 6-year career was last year. So clearly he was targeted. Clearly it worked. The offense, it's not like they changed the pieces up substantially. Still going to be a lot of the same things. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to get a ton of catches. He is an undervalued player right now, especially in PPR leagues. 2 guys I want to talk about in Tier 5. First guy is Keenan Allen. Now, this is a guy that has plummeted down draft boards because he loses his boy, Phillip Rivers. But Keenan Allen is still a very talented wide receiver that is going to help them move the chains. So I don't see why people are dropping him down to the high 20s.
doesn't make sense to us. I still think between 90 and 100 catches and 1,000 yards is very plausible for Allen this year. And then DK Metcalf, love this guy, big fan. If you look, he did come into the year a little banged up, but if you look at his last 8 games, 35 catches for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think that's kind of what you're looking at. If he gets between 70, 80 catches, 1,000 yards, and I really like him to maybe get closer to 10 touchdowns as he gets more comfortable as a red zone threat for Russell Wilson. I think Metcalf takes a nice second-year step.
All right, as we go into Tier 6, talking first about DJ Chark. He was great for the Jags last year. In fact, 73 catches, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Now, he did all of that with the last 5 games not being so great. He didn't have any touchdowns in his last 5 games. He only averaged 42 yards a game. Keep in mind, he was banged up over that time frame. Check out the guy's highlight reel. He is a silly, sick, good player. A lot of upside here with him. Another guy that I've always felt had upside, that I drafted every stupid year, and he finally came through last year, was Mr. Parker for the Miami Dolphins. Last year, he had a monster year. 9 touchdowns, over 1,200 yards. But he's ranked here as such because Tua's a little bit scary. Fitzpatrick just threw it up to him and loved it, so he still has the talent. He has the pedigree. Just a little scary to see what's going to happen with him and Tua, but again, upside here as well for both of these young stud wide receivers.
Jamison Crowder is the guy I want to talk about in Tier 7. We have him ranked a lot higher than a lot of experts, and when you look at his stats last year, in 16 games, just under 80 catches, 833 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And I think that Jets offense can't be much worse than last year. I like to think that they will be better this year, and I think Robbie Anderson's gone. I think Crowder could get a little bit of a bump with that. For our money, I think Crowder, especially in any type of PPR leagues, could be a sneaky late-round pick and at the very least be a solid flex option for you as you get through the buys. I think he'll have a fairly high floor from week to week because I do think he will be one of Darnold's favorite targets.
Tier 8, going to highlight Marquise Hollywood Brown for the Baltimore Ravens. This is one of those things where he is much better for the team in real life than he would be for you in fantasy. The reason I say that is he is a boom or bust speedster, and it's perfect for the offense, right? They run the ball a lot, whether it's Lamar, they have like 17 running backs now. So occasionally they need to stretch the field, they throw it up to him, and he's gonna have some monster days. But just know if you draft him, the consistency factor will not be there, which makes him a very scary to me fantasy option.
I want to talk about the rookie CeeDee Lamb next out there with Dallas. It's a perfect Dallas guy, it seems. Like he's going to have a lot of hype, and that might get him overdrafted because here's the deal with that offense. They don't even need CeeDee Lamb. I mean, it's already a great offense. Yes, they will get him involved. He will have some big games. But that's just what worries me is they're so deep already. They have such a well-balanced team already. Again, he's a new, fun, shiny toy. They will find a way to get the ball in his hands. But in terms of fantasy, as a rookie, unless there's a Cooper or Gallup injury, we're not seeing a huge impact. But look for him to have maybe 2 to 4 really big games this year. So if you guess right, he could help you out.
And that's what fantasy is, right? It's talent and opportunity. And what we're saying is he's got the talent, but how much opportunity is going to be there for him? On the flip side of that, Ruggs, for the Las Vegas Raiders, will have plenty of opportunity. He was the first wide receiver off the board. Hilarious because his combine 40 was super fast, and that's what the Raiders always do, and it's just a running joke now. But why do we rank him as such? Because while the opportunity will be there, and he's pretty talented, but it's what's the talent around him, right? Don't really love that offense. Don't really love Carr. And he's not as NFL ready as some of these other rookies. He could be a stud in the future, but he's ranked there as such. So just because he was the first receiver taken in the real NFL draft doesn't mean he should be the first rookie off the board in your fantasy draft.
I'm going to keep the rookie wide receiver stretch going here. Jerry Judy's next out there with Denver.
Judy!
Yeah, okay. We like Locke to take steps and move forward, but there still are just going to be a lot of question marks in terms of how are the other targets going to get distributed with with Sutton obviously being the main guy out there. They got Melvin Gordon, they got Phillip Lindsay, they got a lot of lot of mouths to feed out there, but the talent is certainly here. This guy is a stud. He will be very fantasy relevant for years to come. Just not sure if it's going to happen this year.
All right, last tier, I'm talking about our last guy we ranked, and that is Mr. Harry for the New England Patriots. The reason I want to bring him up is, yes, Tom Brady's out, Cam Newton's in. He is right now the number one option on the outside, with Edelman playing kind of the other side of the slot, obviously. So he was a first-round pick. Billy Boy never takes a wide receiver in the first round. He did it last year. He's got another year under his belt with the system. Just the kind of guy, if I'm taking, at the end of drafts, what we always like to say is take young with upside over old and boring. This guy's kind of young with upside. He might do absolutely nothing, but I'd rather have the option of somebody that could potentially do great than, Sanders or somebody boring.
So that's,
I do kind of like Sanders.
You do like Sanders.
I love Sanders. I always love
Sanders can have a
Sanders.
good year. That's our receivers. Check out all the other stuff. Leave some comments. Get excited about some football. Check out our website.
Jackpot!
Draft Guide 500.